Section 3, Part 2, Chapter 2, Section 3, Operation under unusual conditions. General Johnny Daily check self-detect starting engine, operating transmission, operating transfer case, all with the M915A2, the operating with the control entire inflation system, M915A1, M915A1 material control system, driving, tip the driving, shutting down with the engine with the operating sliding in the fifth fuel, the M915A2 with the operating sliding in the fifth fuel, M916A1, A2, coupled the truck, the all-ship, the M915A1, M917A1 material control system, uncoupled with the truck, the all-ship, the M917A1, M1 with the material control system, pencil towing procedure, motor flap storage, all ship the M917A1, M917A with material control system, operate with the power takeoff, the except for the M915A2, operate the winch with the M916A1, A2, and operate with the air conditioner, all except the M915A2 with the M916A1, operate the portable fire extinguisher, operate the lights, rifle the mounting kit, and operate with the heater engine foster bear preparation for movement. Alright, warning, the vehicle for the design and typically efficient with the limit to specify the TM and operating beyond with the limit to prohibit the form for the AR-71, but without written approval of the Commander U.S. Army, take out the minute of armaments for the attempt of the AMSDA, DSA, CS, Warren, Missouri, 483975000. For operation for the M915A1, with material control system, dump truck body, refer to the TM 53805-26414, and P. The section contains instructions for safety operation M915A family, M915 family vehicle, the usual condition, the usual condition provided and within section before this chapter. Initial adjustment, daily checks, and self-tests. Before perform operation preventive maintenance checks over in chapter 2, section 2, the check the military load classification paragraph 112, the necessary adjust the side mirror with the 3 with loosening 2 nuts with the 2 with the move it and slide mirror with the proper position and the 2 nuts. Caution, now attempt to adjust the spotter mirror without loosening the screw. Adjusting the screw will make it become loose and result loss of the spotter mirror. Adjust the spotter mirror with the 1 with the loosening the 3 screw with the 4 with the move within the spotter mirror with the proper position tighten the 3 screws. Show the warning. Use the seatbelts operating with the vehicle with the mandatory fasten seatbelt before driving. Try fastening the 3-point seatbelt while driving the crate with a hazard ignition failure to file with the warning may result in the death and injury of personnel. Adjust the tether belt, loosen the tether belt with a 6 with the turning buckle, the 5 with the right with the angle webbing, the pull the back away from the inner webbing, tighten the tether with the belt with the proper tension, ensure the movement of the seating suspension is not restricted. Fasten seatbelt. Slowly pull the link 9 out of the retractor 10 of the cuff of the lap with the nuff of the long engage the buckle 5 and then the retractor locks soon then allow the belt to retract slightly, then pull slowly, push the link into the buckle 5 the push the shoulder strap 8 the diagonal of the cuff of the stress. If engaged in the comfort locking all more than 1 inch between the check of the shoulder strap, the comfort lock automatically releases the pressure applied with the shoulder strap. If the desire the engage the comfort lock for the pulling on the shoulder strap, the pressing of the comfort lock up lever up. The release the seat with the belt, press the release button, the buckle the 5 of the comfort lock with the 7 will engage to give it the shoulder strap, the quick downward and totally release. Ensure the parking brake with the applied in paragraph 2.2 with the M915 vehicle with the family is equipped with the neutral safety switch to prevent the engine from being with the transmission is not neutral. Put the transmission selector neutral and ensure all the accessories that are off and engage the brake system switches in the opposition. Once you hit the engine button with the diagnostic purpose, do not push the check of the engine button during vehicle operation. Because the engine will slow down the idle, which could cover the hazardous operation condition. Return to the operating mode by releasing the accelerator pedal, allowing the engine to return to the idle speed. Failure to follow this warning may result in injury. Personnel turning the ignition switch on position, check engine light, and then shut it down. Light come on, but then off. The turn off at approximately 5 seconds for the engine oil warning light, low air pressure warning light with the tractor ABS and the parking light. If the light warning browser will come on the M915A and the M915A with material control setting with the control tire inflation selector panel illuminates should display the single solid mode light with a single flashing mode light with the M915A2 with the ensure the interlocking axle locker control valve that is either in the unlocked position for all models with the M915A2 with the ensure all wheel to drive the control with the valve lever disengage position or take off the switches in the off position. Caution, do not operate the starter more than 30 seconds at a time. 30 seconds and allow the starter motor to fuel at least 2 minutes after and attempting the start with the engine again, but every excessive heating of the starter motor may result in the damage to early starter failure. Press the engine start button. When the engine starts, when the relief of the start button, the engine fails. The start with the prime fuel button by pumping the fuel water surface separator valve for 1 minute. Press the engine start button. If the engine fails to start, and pump the valve for 20 seconds. Press the engine start button. If the engine fails to start, notify the unit maintenance. Caution: not run the engine above the idle speed until the oil pressure gauge of the indicator at least 12 psi. The idle speed, the monitor gauge, the indicator after 10 seconds, no indicator, the oil pressure shut down, engine oil warning light, check the engine light on shutting it down the engine and performing the troubleshooting. Note, perform step with J through M, but the outside of the temperature at the below 30 degrees before Fahrenheit. Vehicle does not equip with the manual, but they are the quick start of the system with either equipped with the automatic ether injection system cold weather starting. Perform steps A through H.
Carl wants to know, do you want to smoke a cigarette?
Give me a minute.
All right. Refrigerator very full. I took out one tea.
All right. Start engine continue. For vehicles equipped with manual either the quick start with the never the press with the quick start button of the crank engine simultaneous with the build with either the fume of the combustion intake manifold. Do not operate with the start motor for more than 30 seconds at a time. After 30 seconds to allow the start motor to go at least 2 minutes before attempting to start with the engine again, except for the heel start of the main motor result of the damage earlier start of failure for the manual either quick start pressure. System pressure the engine start button at the same time. Press for the either quick start button once for when the engine start the release of the engine start button. Caution: do not run the engine above the idle speed until the oil pressure gauge indicates at least 12 psi at the idle speed. Do not run the engine engine above the 600 RPMs and the normal oil pressure is indicated on the engine oil pressure gauge. 215. Operating transmission. General, the transmission is played with the 6 differential gear of the reverse of the R of the reverse R of the back of the vehicle. The vehicle must revolve with the complete stop before shifting in the forward gear of the reverse gear of the vice versa. Other caution: do not allow the truck to coast in the neutral gear. This can result in the severe transmission damage. Engine braking is not available. In neutral and the non-transmission normal transmission position when the vehicle is not use the gear to start with the engine. D drive. When placing the D drive, the transmission start with the out in the first gear, that automatically progresses to the fourth gear. During slowdown, transmission system automatically downshift gear 2 and 3. Use 2 and 3rd gear, second and third gear for the road or low traffic conditions may be preferable. They'll use the lower gear when conditions improve with the return of the drive gear. Gear 1. First gear for the lower gear is used for the pulling through the mud with the snow, then going up secret. The position also offers maximum engine braking and power. Operation: depress the brake pedal, hold the release of the parking brake paragraph 2 with the move of the transmission selector level to desired gear. 216. Operating transfer cable for the all script of the M915A2 with the general with the vehicle that must be stopped complete with the transmission and be in the neutral position or end position before transmission can be lifted and shifted into position high. High is the normal operating position. Neutral for the neutral is normal position when the vehicle does not move within the transfer case, then move in the neutral position. And low engage with all the wheel drive was normally when the transmission gear is either on the other than the drive. B. Operating stop vehicle with the place transmission in the neutral position. Caution: failure to ensure for the transfer case selector level of low engage. Failure to follow the caution may result with equipment damage. Know that the air leak that may be heard with the transfer case selector level is not mission and not full engage. Move the transfer case selector lever to the desired position. Operate the control control tire inflation system in 915A1 with the material control system. The CTIS selector panel display summary. Single mode solid single mode light with the indicator pressure that has achieved the more than the mode, but the CTIS is inactive with the wheel valve with the close with the flashing signal with the mode light indicate that the CTIS is working so that achieve the pressure of the associated with the mode. Light on top of the CTIS mode. The 2 lights on the top of the CTIS has shut off with the tire pressure between the 2 modes. Setting is perform troubleshooting chapter 3 section 2. 4 mode the light flashing CTIS has shut off with waiting for the operator instruction performing the troubleshooting chapter 3 section 2. 5 mode light flashing CTIS is shut off due to the fault detection of the CTIS component perform troubleshooting chapter 3 section 2. Run flat flashing mode light run flat is selected the tire pressure is checked with more frequent intervals. No mode lights indicate vehicle power the performing troubleshooting chapter 3 section 2 light sequential flashing configuration error performing troubleshooting chapter 3 section 2. CTIS operation note: before CTIS become familiar with the CTIS principle, the operation chapter 1 section 3 with the CTIS control indicator chapter 2 section 1 when the inside tire pressure of the left achieve the vehicle that was operated with the cross country pressure of the tube the highway select with the pressure not achieve the vehicle shut down upon restart of the system will default the cross country. Tire pressure may be checked at any time of the pressing mode of the key select with the CTIS automatically performs inflation deflation is required. Press for the highway mode key the operator to improve the road to the next 60 miles an hour reduce the mile per hour indicator light will come on the vehicle speed should reduce it at this time. The press for the cross country mode key to operate the non-private paid secondary roads on proof to serve the next 40 miles an hour with the reduce the mile per hour the indicator light will come on the vehicle speed should be reduced at the time the overspeed with the exceed with more than 1 minute. CTS will automatically inflate the highway setting. The press sand mode to keep the operating in sand snow the mud do not exceed 25 miles reduce the mile per hour the indicator light will come on the vehicle the speed should be reduced at the time overspeed is exceeded for more than 1 minute with the CTS automatically inflate with the cross country setting. Warning: we resume operation on the highways for the sure with the reset the CTS selected for the higher tire pressure with the operating the vehicle the uninflated tires will cause the premature tire wear and damage tire with the cause of the unsafe driving and condition failure to follow these warnings may result in death and injury to personnel. Reset CTIS to the higher test prior as required. Warning: be alert with the personal air within the operating control. Ensure the air with the clear of the personnel with obstruction before moving out. The failure to follow this warning may result in a serious injury, death to personnel. Caution: government speed. The 12 to 100 RPM the engine is allowed at the X speed. You see governing speed, serious injury of the transmission damage may result. Check the engine gauge indicator frequently. If the gauge indicator shows the abnormal wearing warm and on light comes on the ring of the vehicle to the safe spot, shut down the engine. Paragraph 220, investigate the cause. Steering wheel which should not be held with the full steer or the more with more intense that could result in the overheating of the low oil pressure power steering reservoir pumping gear damage. Avoid oversteering when they become familiar with the steering characteristics of the vehicle before attempting to maneuver the limited space. Drive economically. Driving at high speed. Recommended normal highway cruising range is 18 to 1900 RPM. With operating with highly terrain and high winds and other conditions that make it impractical to operate with the reservoir power. Operate with a vehicle low gear. Drive in city when flowing at the posted speed zone with the remain the drive position. Reduce the engine RPM. The drive uphill with the underload with the prior use of the gear shortening the time of uphill on hills. Minimize the amount of shifting as the vehicle starts uphill. Press the accelerated pedal required to maintain speed. Alright, I'm warned, do not use the engine brake with the road surface with the slope of the use the engine brake away. If the snow cover the road, that could result in the loss of the vehicle, control of the area to the power of the warning could result in the death, injury, personal, the damage of equipment. Use the engine brake forward with the vehicle's equipped with the engine braking system to enable the engine to act as a brake. The engine brake should be the disintegrate with the most efficient between 1750 and 2100 RPM with the maximum engine brake is recorded with the turn both of the engine braking selection switch of the engine. 6-cylinder. If the last of the maximum engine braking is required, the turn left engine brake switch for the up, the right engine, the brake switch for the switch down with the engage the 2-cylinder, the left engine brake selection switch, shut down with the right engine, the brake selection switch up the engine's 4-cylinder. Downhill braking. Select the gear with allow the engine brake with apply with the control of the vehicle speed with the engine RPM below 2100 RPM to apply the strip of the brake with the downgrade as approach progressively. Select the gear that will combine the engine brake will allow the maintain the engine speed at 715 to 2100 RPMs as the engine can see 2100 RPMs with one of the possible applications for the brake for the slower than the engine 1650 RPM to relieve the engine braking down shift the one gear with apply the engine brake with repeat this procedure until the engine speed can be maintained at 1750 to 2100 RPMs. Alright, caution excessive use of the strip of the brake control of the downhill speed will result in the loss of the braking power due to the heat buildup. If you experience the total off of the brake due to the heat of the buildup, apply with the engine brake the 6-cylinder. Shift the engine speed of approach of the 2100 RPM. The D position continue to apply the engine brake to maintain the direction control of the vehicle. Alright, the anti-lock braking system will help get control of the wheel lock up the sky or skidding during an emergency. M915A2 they engage the inner axle lock to require the caution. They do not actuate the interlocking axle lockout control valve while the tires are slipping. They operate the vehicle with continuously with the interlocking lock control valve lock during the extended road conditions. Damage the axle gearing the excessive tire wear could result. Or no, the ABS warning light brings to the interlocking axle. The axle lockout is engaged. To lock out the inner axle, leave the axle power pedal with the monitor of the move of the inner axle, the control valve lever to lock position while maintaining the vehicle speed. That lock indicator light comes on with the proceed over the four road condition with the caution. Do not wait until the traction is low. The tires are spinning before locking the inner axle. To unlock the inner axle, place the inner axle lockout control valve lever to the unlock position. Remove the foot from the accelerator. Observe the axle lock indicator light goes off and the system is now unlocked. For all except the 950. A2 they engage AIL wheel drive is required. Caution to actuate all the wheel drive the control valve of the vehicle. The motion down upper of the vehicle continuously with all the wheel drive the control valve engaged during the extended good road condition. The damage of the axle given the except the tire wear could result. All wheel drive that may be engaged with the two ways of performance either step 1 or step 2 to engage while the vehicle is up with the transfer case to select with the high range of the place. All the wheel drive control valve lever in the engaged position. Axle lock indicator will come on and all wheel drive is now engaged. 2. When the vehicle stops, shift the transfer case of the selector to the low in range and the axle low indicator light will come on and all the wheel drive is now engaged. All wheel drive may be designed in two ways to perform either in step 3 or 4 with the disengage. Do not operate the vehicle with the axle lock indicator light with the shift on notify the unit maintenance. Disengage all the wheel drive and the transfer case selected with the low range. Stop the vehicle to move the transfer case selected to the high range. All the wheel drive with the disengage axle lock indicator will go off. And disengage all the wheel drive with the transfer case selected for the high range and all wheel drive the control valve lever engaged with the moving and all wheel drive the control valve the disengaged position remove the foot from the accelerator. Alright, I can go smoke a cigarette with you now.